Yesterday I got our whole family packed up into the car because we were going on our first ever family vacation, and I wanted to share it with you guys because even though this isn't like my normal videos about technology, we're going to my favorite place in the entire world, and I want to share that with all of you at home. Excellent! So I live in Southern California, and the first thing we did was drive up to Northern California. We actually took the 15 up to the 395, which is the highway that runs from the north to the south on the east side of the Sierra Nevadas. We often drive up on the west side of the Sierra Nevadas, but I spent a lot of time in the Sierra Nevadas over the course of my life because I like hiking there, and there's a bunch of really cool places, really beautiful places along the way. We're stopping at one right now, which is Mammoth. You guys might have heard of it before. Mammoth Mountain is actually right there behind me. It is a massive mountain, and it's great for snowboarding and skiing and stuff like that. There's a bunch of other mountains adjacent to it, and I actually really love going up and backpacking in these mountains right up here. Ansel Adams Wilderness, although I haven't been in like 5 or 6 years, which really sucks. But today, because we have the dogs and our baby in the car, we're continuing the road trip that we started yesterday. Up the 395 is a big, wide valley. It's really beautiful, actually. It's not quite as green and verdant as the west side of the mountains. Eventually get up to Bishop, which is a reasonable sized city. We usually stop there for some food. We actually had some Mexican food there yesterday. It was quite good. And we didn't get a chance to stop at Shot's Bakery, although that is often a place that we will stop. From there you continue to go up a big grade, and you can look back down the entire valley that you've just come up. Actually, the Owens River Valley is adjacent to that. That's where the LA area gets all of our water, because the LA Aqueduct actually goes south from there. I might be getting too much into the geography, but now we're in Mammoth. We're surrounded by this hub of the Sierra Nevada mountains. Today we're actually going to be leaving Mammoth, going up north, and driving into Yosemite. We're going over the Tioga Pass. We're now officially in Yosemite. We went through the gates right there. Beautiful mountain scenery already. And we're just pausing really quickly here to take care of baby, who's a little upset. It's okay, Hannah. And to make sure the dogs have plenty of water. Good boy, Hero. Good boy. He's a sloppy drinker. Oops, I'm eating. We're enjoying a quick picnic lunch, somewhat impromptu. We're here at Tenaya Lake, and the dogs are enjoying being out of the car, although we are being accosted by yellow jackets right now. Like, wow, lots of yellow jackets. Tenaya Lake, though, is down here. That's pretty. Driving through the high country up here is like insanely beautiful. Yosemite and the Sierras in this area are made mostly of granite. So there's these granite domes everywhere. In some places they've been carved away by glaciers or rivers over time. Tons of pine trees, some sequoias, and then just these amazing, incredible vista views that you get up here. And I think it's especially nice when you get away from the crowds and stuff, and maybe even away from a bit of the noise of the road. It's a little crowded today because it is Labor Day, the day that we're driving through here, but this has already been incredible. So we split off from the Tioga Road, which is Highway 120 if you're counting, and there's a little junction that takes you over towards Yosemite Valley. And that is what we've just caught our first glimpse of. I rarely come this route actually to get to Yosemite Valley, so it's kind of cool because there's a different view of it over here from what you usually see when you come in from Highway 41, which is the tunnel view, which we're gonna get to. But hey, check it out, Yosemite Valley. There's El Capitan right there, and you can just see this side of the hump of Half Dome right there. And I think this should potentially be where Bridal Veil Falls is. But anyway, I'm excited because we're going towards that in just a minute. Got a bit more driving to do though. It is late in the season. Sometimes in dry years, Yosemite Falls can turn into Yosemite Wall. Fortunately, there's still a tiny bit of water still left in there. Just a bit. It is September though. We drove down into the valley and we decided to stop by Curry Village. If you ever hear anyone tell you that it's not called Curry Village, tell them that they are full of garbage. It's called Curry Village. It will be called Curry Village forever. They have really good pizza here, so you should stop by. And screw Delaware North. They're a bunch of jerks. So good news, everyone. It actually is still called Curry Village. Apparently within the past few weeks there was some legal stuff that went on and Delaware North lost. So it's Curry Village again. It's the Iwani Hotel again. In case you have no idea what I'm talking about, there was some legal dispute with the former concessions operator here, Delaware North. So they've gone back to the old traditional names, which is awesome, which I really appreciate. But we are gonna head out now. We're actually going back down to Oakhurst outside of Yosemite where we will be staying. And I think I'm gonna wrap up for today because it's been a long day. We've gone to a lot of different places. We've seen a lot of different things. It's been awesome, also exhausting. We gotta figure out dinner still. Anyway, I'll be right back. We decided to spend yesterday in Oakhurst and do a little family time. Today, we took a drive and now we're experiencing this nice view behind me. What do you think? We're actually at Washburn Point, but we're headed towards Glacier Point. So this allows you to see a lot more of Yosemite that you can't see from the valley floor, including this area back here, as well as some waterfalls. There's Vernal Falls down there. There's Nevada Falls above it. If you wanted to hike to the top of Half Dome, which is right there, the trail starts at Happy Isles, which is down there where that dude is. Well, not down there, but down there. And then you hike up these trails. There's a mist trail right there, and then you go up to the top of Nevada Falls, through Little Yosemite Valley, up and around, and then from the back side of Half Dome, you go up the Cables, which is an absolutely amazing experience, although you have to get permits for that now, which is honestly a good idea because they got crowded. But this is a really cool view of Half Dome, and you can drive up here, which has its pros because it means we were able to come up here with the dogs and the baby, but also its cons because it means there's a lot more people, but that's fine. Everyone's been real nice so far. If you do come to Yosemite and you want to do a hike, I highly recommend this one. That's Vernal Falls and it's late in the season, so there's not a lot of water. Usually it's a much wider waterfall, which is really cool looking. Nevada Falls is up above that. That's that one right there. And the mist trail goes right next to Vernal Falls and you get sprayed with a bunch of water and there's slippery big steps. It's a really cool hike. Highly recommended. Continuing on, that's actually Cloud's Rest up there, which doesn't look like it from here, but that's higher than Half Dome. This is Tenaya Canyon. There's North Dome again, Cathedral Arches. Moving down to the left, that's actually Yosemite Valley. So there's Yosemite Falls, still a little bit of water coming down on it. And then if you just peek out a little bit, you can look straight down into the valley. Wow, that's a long way down. Down there is the Merced River. It goes all the way around and loops around. And one of our other favorite activities is to go rafting on that during the summer. Although depending on what time of year it is, it gets really low in water. So it's better to come earlier in the season, then there's more water. That's the Curry Village parking lot where we were 2 days ago. And then over there is like Yosemite Village, and then I think Yosemite Lodge is over that direction. And you guys may have seen some famous photos taken on that rock right there, although they're taken from the other direction so you can actually see Half Dome in the background. They've like driven out and like parked a car on that. And this is also where they used to do the firefall back in, I think, the 60s, maybe 70s. Although so many people would gather to watch the firefall, which is basically they would make a huge bonfire up here at Glacier Point, and then they would just push it over the edge, and it would make this big fire waterfall. But people would gather down in these meadows down below, and they were getting really trampled, so they stopped the firefall. Although it's a kind of cool piece of Yosemite Valley's history. Now, one last thing to point out about being up here is the only way you can get up this high above Yosemite Valley without hiking is Glacier Point, where you can drive up to. But there are lots of other trails you can take that go up this direction. There's a trail over here that you can take that goes up to Upper Yosemite Falls. And the longest hike I've ever done out of the valley in one day was we went up to the top of Upper Yosemite Falls, hiked over along this ridge, went out to North Dome, and then came down through here somewhere. We ran out of water at the end and we got a little worried, but we made it. It was fun. It was over 20 miles. So that was a quick tour of Glacier Point, and it looked down into Yosemite Valley. I think we're gonna go and try to eat lunch and maybe avoid some yellow jackets. And then tomorrow we're gonna come back, go down into the valley, and do some hiking around and exploring. Just a quick exit interview with Hannah to see what she thought of Glacier Point. Hannah, what did you think of Glacier Point, baby girl? Was it fun? Did you have a good time? Yes, you did. I bet you did, huh? Oh yeah, it was good. It was good. Do you have any comments? Anything you wanted to say? Okay. She's really cute. We're now on the valley floor, walking across a lovely meadow here, which is quite picturesque. Yosemite is like this massive U-shaped valley with it's pretty flat in the middle, like this valley, and you have these steep granite walls, which are quite breathtaking. I need to do a quick correction. Yesterday I called those the cathedral arches. They're actually the royal arches, right there below North Dome. If you need to get around Yosemite Valley, the best way in my opinion is to ride a bike. We would often bring bikes when we come camping here when I was younger. We don't have bikes on this trip, but the second best way to get around is they have free shuttles. They're actually hybrid shuttles that go all over the park. Unfortunately, we can't bring dogs on those, so not riding the shuttle on this trip, which was why we've been mostly limited to driving places, parking, and then walking. But right now we're heading over to the river. This is the Merced River, suitable for rafting, floating, or just chilling by the river. Although it typically is a lot higher than it is right now. This is actually there was a lot of water this year. It can vary from year to year. Drought years, the river can be very low very early in the year. But it's part of the reason why we often come here earlier in the year is because, you know, there's just more water. But we have spent a ton of time in the past just on little rafts or personal inflatables floating down the river. It's a real nice lazy loop, as you maybe saw from the footage I got at the top of Glacier Point. And then every once in a while you get these cool stone bridges that you float under, and they make really cool echoey sounds. You yell to your friends when you're under the bridge and say funny things. And then brief little sections of rapids like right there too. Nothing too bad though. Floating on the river, so much fun. They have the right idea. That's a unicorn floaty, which is awesome. But those guys were, see, you hit bottom if you're a little too much weight on your raft. They've got the ice chest and everything though. They're looking forward to a nice long float. So here we are, just another breathtakingly gorgeous Yosemite Valley meadow. Not too bad, not too shabby. Oh, what was that, Hannah? You're into it, okay. You want your moose? Moose, moose, moose. Moose, moose, moose. It's kind of weird, we're getting towards the end of my video, and this is actually the tunnel that a lot of people, I don't know if it's most people, but a lot of people come in when they first see the park. And then they turn around and they see that. This is tunnel view. This is probably the most iconic view of Yosemite Valley because you can see lots of stuff like El Capitan, Half Dome all the way down there at the end, and Bridal Veil Falls, which again is down to just a trickle. So guys, that is my quick tour of Yosemite National Park. One of my favorite places in the entire world, and a place that from when I was about age two or three, how old was I? 3. From about age 3 until my early 20s, we came here every single year and went camping, and it was one of my favorite things that we did every year at the family. So I wanted to kind of start the same tradition with my family now that we have a daughter. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and of course hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed it. And you know, if you get the chance to come to Yosemite, send me some pictures on Twitter. That'd be awesome. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.